I stood in my driveway looking at a $100,000 Tesla in my garage, a stranger's vehicle with a note stating they had every right to be there. My blood boiled. This wasn't trespassing. It was the beginning salvo in a planned war for my house. The security footage I took that day would unravel 10 years of neighborhood tyranny leading up to a midnight showdown that's been watched millions of times online. Buying my dream home was to be a triumph and not a fall into a suburban nightmare of intimidation, fraud, and revenge. This is how I toppled the HOA dictator who believed she was untouchable, setting off a controversy that continues to split the neighborhood 3 months ago. I realized my dream of homeownership after decades of saving. I came across a 3-bedroom colonial on Elm Street, just beyond the Meadowview Estates HOE limits. I'd picked it out deliberately scarred by a micromanaging apartment manager who'd made life hell. My house needed work, new paint landscaping. But it was mine, free from HOA rules. The neighborhood was picture perfect, oak-lined streets, tidy lawns, a small-town vibe near the city. I spent my first weekend planning upgrades, savoring the freedom to paint my front door a bold red, a choice that would soon ignite a firestorm on day 2. The doorbell rang. Margaret Ellison, the HOA president, stood on my porch, blonde hair, flawless designer sunglasses perched, holding a welcome basket. "We're thrilled to have you," she said. Her smile cold. She handed me a 27-page HOA handbook, mentioning monthly dues. I clarified, "My property's outside your boundaries. That's why I bought it." Her smile twitched. "There's a misunderstanding. All Elm Street homes are under our jurisdiction. I sold this house to the last owners." I stood firm, citing my lawyer's boundary. Check Margaret's tone, sharpened review. "Your paperwork?" The former owners had prized community norms. Her gaze darted to my red door. Disapproval evident as she exited, she appended, "Outs tend to find fault here." The threat was subtle but unmistakable. The basket contained more than cookies. It was a passive-aggressive rulebook with door colors highlighted for approval. Uncomfortable. I installed security cameras that night. My neighbor George Ramsey, a retired attorney, cautioned me Margaret's risky. He said she drove out your predecessors with code rumors and violations. Your corner lot's a gateway she's fixated on controlling. He came close to losing his house to her over a $75 fee that inflated to $3,000. "Change your garage code," he urged. "She keeps remotes from homes she sold." I did, feeling I'd gotten into a power struggle. 2 weeks went by, uneventfully, leading me to believe George exaggerated. Then one Thursday I came home from a brief errand to discover my garage open. A white Tesla Model X, parked within a note on HOA letterhead, asserted temporary parking privileges for repaving none. Repaving was not occurring. The vehicle with a vanity plate. Hope carried a designer purse and a compliance folder. A coffee ring had left a stain on my workbench. Scion had made themselves comfortable. My mailbox contained a backdated notice on postmarked video footage captured Margaret unlocking my garage using a remote parking and driving away with a smirk. Angry, I had called the police officer. Tom Bradley responded. Reviewed the footage within. "It's a matter for the city unless damaged report trespassing, file document all and have an attorney." He indicated Margaret's cloud. "She is close to the mayor. We receive HOA calls each month." As he left, Margaret drove up, remote in hand. I addressed her with the video, showing she did not blink. "HOA bylaws permit use of resources during projects. Your garage is keeping my vehicle safe from falling objects." I took the shot. "I'm not within your HOA. You have maintained a remote. Illegally, this is trespassing." She smiled. "You're in what confusion over your status quo operations, less driving out." I saw listing shots of my home in her vehicle. She was not merely staking claim to control. She sought my property. I changed my code, installed cameras, and saw my lot was beyond HOA limits. George broke Margaret's past, Ofu attacking non-HOA dwellings, coercing 3 under her control. Friday, my cameras buzzed during an office call. 2 Teslas Margaret's and a black Model 3 drove into my garage. Margaret and niece Lauren took selfies. Laughing audio caught Margaret lying. "This is HOA parking. He's gone all weekend." Lauren hesitant asked, "Won't they mind?" Margaret scoffed. He's problematic like the last owner's unapproved. My property values are at risk. They left a basket with wine, a rule book, and a $25 gift card for compliant mailbox numbers. Lauren's purse scratched my car as she squeezed past oblivious. George confirmed Lauren, fresh from a breakup, worked from home for a technology company. Margaret's using her. He said she did this to the Johnsons, keeping equipment in their shed until they sold cheap. My lot's visibility fed Margaret's addiction. I wrote a cease-and-desist letter. Certified her response was a forged map stating my house was HOA territory, referencing emergency covenants. George said she's been fudging boundaries for years, most cave. I befriended neighbors, meeting Ellen Carter, a reluctant HOA board member at a cafe. She posted a blog chronicling Margaret's fakes minutes, selective fines, even employing a PI detail to focus. She's dictated everything since her divorce. Ellen stated, "Your lot's her next conquest." She provided me legal boundary documents and proof of Margaret bribing neighbors with landscaping grants to cut me off. My lawyer warned she'll up the ante. He was right. Landscapers employed by Margaret's cousin's company hacked my oak tree saying I'd authorized it. Audio confirmed. Margaret lied. Then a phony real estate listing for my home posted online undervalued. With doctored photos, an IRS letter accused me of unreported rental income. Criminal fraud. Margaret was spreading rumors of code violations and tax evasion, spying on my visitors through loyal informants. I'd exposed corporate fraud. Previously, I could not deal with Margaret. I beefed up security with hidden cameras, door sensors, and warnings I posted publicly about a weekend trip leaving a garage remote in view. I slept at George's, his guest room facing my driveway, streaming live to ex-colleagues as witnesses. Friday evening at 7 p.m., Margaret's SUV pulled up. She came into my garage parking her Tesla. Then, Lawrence audio recorded Margaret's scheme. He's gone as soon as he's out of this. Lots they knocked over my tool cabinet, leaving it. Margaret boasted of driving out the previous owners by disrupting their children's sleep. Saturday, they used my garage like a lounge, washed their cars with my host by Sunday. I had hours of damning video. I set up the trap for 6 p.m. Sunday, when they'd moved their vehicles, I called Officer Bradley to follow up at 5:55. George and I parked across the street. Margaret and Lauren pulled in. Entering my garage, Bradley's cruiser pulled up, catching them. I stepped out. Great timing, officer. Margaret's shock gave way to bravado. "We have parking rights," Lauren stammered. Margaret claimed it was approved. I showed Bradley the footage playing Margaret's voice. "Get him off the property's ours." Her facepad. Ellen arrived with 2 board members, announcing Margaret's suspension for financial impropriety. "You're not the HOA," Ellen reported. Margaret stormed, "No quorum." The board denied her. The Andersons, my predecessors, stopped by sharing their harassment. Neighbors convened. Shocked. Margaret accused me of falsifying evidence, defamed the Andersons, and ranted about outsiders. Lauren, humiliated, apologized, promising to pay for my car scratches. Bradley issued Margaret a trespassing warning and tagged her for fun. Misuse at 2:15 a.m. My phone blared. Margaret's brother-in-law's tow truck was hooking my car, with her directing, asserting HOA authority. I confronted them, proof in hand. Neighbors, disturbed by the commotion, joined. George and Ellen. Margaret's meltdown was epic, spewing false violations and residents' personal secrets. "I built this place." She wept, Lauren horrified. Escorted her away. Police recorded the attempt at fraud. Margaret was put on probation for trespassing and fraud, losing her real estate license. Audits revealed her embezzling HOA money for her Tesla. And landscaping. Ellen's reforms defined boundaries and audits. I created a website helping HOA victims, gaining momentum. 6 months later, Margaret's residence was on the market. Her Tesla gone. The neighborhood arguments. My roll maker. My red door stands tall. My garage. My George parked there once during a storm. Real neighbor things. Ellen's HOA flourishes, but I remain independent. Justice wasn't revenge. It was revealing truth, letting Margaret's pride sign her demise.